Good morning, Toby Johnson. I'm Trisha. Today we have a special edition of TJTV.
And I'm Katie. This special edition of TJTV is in honor of Earth Day, which is April 22nd.
Earth Day was founded in April 22nd, 1970 by Gaylord Nelson. This day teaches us education about environmental issues, celebrates the planet's environment, and raises public awareness about the need to protect it.
Earth Day is celebrated with rallies, outdoor activities, service projects, and, in our case, a special edition of our show.
Before Earth Day, factories pumped pollutants into the air, lakes, and rivers with few legal consequences.
Only a small portion of American population practiced recycling at that time. The rate of industrialization and the careless attitude of everyone towards the environment made Senator Gaylord Nelson worried about the Earth.
By the early 1960s, Nelson announced the Earth Day concept at a conference in Seattle and invited the entire nation to get involved. Americans were becoming aware of the effects of pollution on the environment.
Until that time, protecting the planet's natural resources was not part of the national political agenda, and the number of activities devoted to large-scale issues such as industrial pollution was minimal.
After seeing the damage done by the oil spill in Santa Barbara in 1969, Nelson created Earth Day. He stated that Earth Day worked because of the spontaneous response at the grassroots level. That was the remarkable thing about Earth Day. It organized itself.
Since 1970, Earth Day celebrations have grown and become global, all with over 140 nations participating.
More than 1 billion people are involved in Earth Day activities, making it the largest secular civic event in the world.
Today, we will be showing you several videos made by TGMS students to raise your public awareness about the environment in our early celebration of Earth Day. Toby is committed to helping the environment.
Remember when we first started talking about a recycling program?
I introduced the story.
In response to a change in California law, Toby Johnson Middle School is going to start recycling food as well as other recyclables. Our school currently produces 4 cubic yards of trash per day, which is 20 cubic yards per week. To give you an idea of how much trash that is, 20 cubic yards takes the same amount of space as 3,000 bowling balls.
Toby Johnson has a population of 1,359 students. That's a lot of students producing tons of food waste every day. Ms. Albiani has been working with the City of Elk Grove to develop a recycling program here at Toby.
The City of Elk Grove plans to work closely with your school by educating all the students in regards to the importance of recycling.
Not only is it important to recycle for our environment, it has now been made into a specific law.
California has recently passed a law that requires any large generators of organic material to implement organic recycling.
Mrs. Albiani joined Ron Cassidy, a recycling representative from Republic Services, in doing a waste audit of all the garbage that comes from our school. According to Ron, 95% of what comes out of our school is recyclable or compostable. By separating our compostables and recycling trash, we will decrease what we send to the landfill by 95%, adding only 150 bowling balls worth of trash to the landfill. Reporting for TJTV, I'm Katie Nguyen.
How much water do we waste a year?
If you are counting how much a faucet drips each year, then we waste 526 million gallons a year. Let's see what Alan Lamb has created to teach us about wasted water.
Running water fountains waste at least 17,280 liters of water a day. Many children waste precious water by not finishing their water bottles. A faucet that drips 1 drop every second wastes 3,000 gallons of water a year, costing over $2,670. By simply turning off the faucet, gallons of water will be saved. Save your water. Don't let it go to waste.
The average family uses more than 500 plastic bags per year. Tons of wrappers and one-time use containers end up in the landfill.
However, there are a lot of reusable lunch items we can use to make a positive impact on the landfill and our environment. Trisha has made a video with some suggestions about reusable lunch items we can use.
When bringing a lunch from home, remember to use containers that are washable and reusable. Using cutlery that can be reused can limit the amount of plastic utensils that add to the Pacific Ocean garbage patch. Use washable containers to store your favorite food. This will help with having to throw away recyclable items that have become dirty. Using paper bags can generate 65 pounds of garbage per student per school year. Pack snacks in resealable containers to avoid throwing wrappers into the trash. Using refillable water bottles can help reduce the amount of single-use water bottles sent to landfills each year. The use of plastic sandwich containers can minimize Ziploc bags used to store sandwiches. This can reduce the 100 billion plastic bags that Americans throw away every year.
Do you know what upcycling is?
Upcycling is when you find another use for something instead of throwing it away. Let's see Sydney Rivera's suggestion.
For this project, you will need a t-shirt, polyester stuffing, scissors, a tape measure, pencil, thread, and a needle. The first thing you do is measure the shirt to the length you want and then cut the shirt. Then turn your two pieces of cloth inside out so that the design is covered. Next, sew all four sides going through, then around and go through again on the same side. Make sure to leave a gap and then turn the pillow right side out. Fill the pillow with stuffing through the gap you left. Once you are satisfied with the amount of stuffing inside, finally continue sewing the gap. When you're done, then tie a knot at the end of your thread and you're done. When people think of saving the earth, people automatically think of recycling. But how about upcycling? Turning something from trash to treasure.
Wouldn't it be great if our garbage cans can recycle automatically?
Jake Augusta and James Emerson had the same idea.
Recycling is important if we want to save our planet. Over 95% of our school's waste is recyclable. But until we have garbage cans that recycle automatically, we'll have to do it ourselves. Take charge, recycle.
Abigail M. created this video to show us 4 simple ways that we can help the environment.
4 simple ways to help save the environment. Over 50 billion plastic water bottles are used every year in the United States alone. Using a reusable water bottle instead of plastic limits that number by 50%. Plastic water bottles clog up our oceans and kill our animals, so the less plastic used, the better. Turning off the lights when you leave a room helps save electricity and prevents global warming from happening because it prevents a greenhouse gas that destroys our ozone layer. Saving water helps the environment because creating purified water takes tons of labor and machines that burn more fossil fuels into the air and hurting our ozone layer. Making sure you unplug all of your electronic devices after they are fully charged helps pollution because using less energy limits the amount of fossil fuels produced.
Every year, many people drop plastics into the ocean.
The chemicals in plastic can kill animals and harm their habitats.
Alyssa Cobain has some information about how we can save the ocean.
I'm Ariana reporting for TJTV, and today I'm informing you about a crisis going on in the marine world, such as plastic getting into the ocean and harming animals. This plastic bag can end up in the sea, and animals may think it's a jellyfish or different fish and eat the plastic bag, which can harm their insides and maybe kill them. By recycling your plastic objects instead of throwing them away, you can reduce harm for animals in the ocean. This could go around their necks and suffocate them. Instead of using a plastic bag, you can use a reusable bag to make sure your plastic doesn't end up in the ocean. you've seen what plastic pollution could do to animals and to the ocean, do you still want to harm them?
Toby is still not done helping our environment. We will start separating compost and trash to reduce our carbon footprints even more.
If you see these recycling bins around school, remember to empty all of your cans and bottles, then put them away in the bins.
That wraps up our special edition about Earth Day. But before we end the show, we have a couple of announcements. If you enjoy listening to K-pop groups such as Black Bee or Girls' Day, or watch K-dramas like Descent of the Suns and Comeback Mister, then come to the K-Club today after school in MF8 and every Wednesday after that.
Board Game Club will be meeting on Fridays for the rest of the term. It will still be located at MK6. For more information, please contact Mrs. Avalos.
That's it for today's show.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of First Things First on TJTV.
I'm Trisha. Have a great day.
And I'm Katie. You have advocacy today.